Awesome. All right. Welcome everybody to the Confident Lady Boss. It is Tuesday, July 16th, and we have a great speaker, LaChelle Adkins, and she's going to share the 5 pillars of networking to acquire clients. I mean, who doesn't want more clients in their business, in their, if you're in business. And I'm going to leave it to LaChelle to introduce herself a little bit more, but why don't we share a little bit about who you are, where you're from, a little bit about what you do, for those of you that don't know each other. Why don't we start? Kellyanne, why don't you go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay.
Hello, ladies. I'm excited, about being a part of the Confident Lady series.
Ladyboss. We're Ladyboss.
So anyway, my name is Kellen Trapp, and yes, I am in Connecticut. I'm in the northwestern corner of Connecticut, and I met Tina through a networking group of women networking groups, and I'm all about networking. I do a lot of networking, but I'm in the business of also helping families with life insurance solutions with living benefits. That's one of the things that I'm very passionate about, and that kind of brings my income. But I would say that my biggest passion is my faith heart journaling, and I'm actually the founder of Faith Heart Ministries. And so I'm really excited about that. And there's just going to be some big things happening soon. I am going through Christian life coaching as well. So I'm very excited today.
Awesome.
Yes.
I hear some feedback. So why don't each of you introduce yourselves, and after that you can mute yourself. And I see Nancy, I know that you're on.
Hi,
Nancy. You can
how do I get my picture?
go on the bottom there and click stop video.
Start video?
Yeah, so we get to see you.
Oh, there
awesome.
I am.
Hi, Nancy.
Okay.
All right, great. Welcome, Nancy. So good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Awesome. So we started with Kellyanne. All right, so Michelina, do you want to go next?
Sure, I'd be happy to. And thank you very much. This is so nice to be with you all. So my name is Michelina, but everybody calls me Mick. So please feel free to call me Mick for short. I am the owner of a virtual franchise in the Juice Plus company. We're a wellness and virtual franchise company. We're in 26 countries around the world. And I love helping women achieve better health and financial security. So most of the women that I work with are really looking for something more. Like they know there's something more out of life, but they just can't figure out what it is. So through my business and my team, we really make that connection with women, help them to really develop the healthy habits, et cetera, and then also teach them how to run their own little empire, really, and build some nice residual income so they can pull away from exchanging, hours for dollars, as we say. And I'm really excited to be here and to get to know all of you. And Kellen, I can't wait to hear more about this whole thing you're doing, this ministry. And LaChelle, we're all on the same page, right? Love it.
Yes,
yeah, I'm excited to learn more.
Yeah, because Kellyanne is in Connecticut, and there's another woman, and Pam Drzwicki.
Yes, okay.
Starting a mastermind that is a Christian ministry.
Oh, fantastic. And she's lovely.
Coming. So stay tuned.
Lovely. Good. Okay. Good to know.
So stay tuned. All right. Let's see. Who wants to go next? Madeline, are you still here?
I'm here.
All right, Madeline, why don't you go next?
Okay. So my name is Madeline Fiella. I live in Hollywood, Florida. I am a speaker, a coach, and soon to be author. And I love working with mostly women and a few good men. And what I enjoy is watching them grow and walking away with a big smile on their face. So what I do is I help them get clarity, tap into their courage, and teach them how to sustain it so it's not just a flip.
Good. Very good. Awesome. Nancy, why don't you unmute yourself and you can go next, because I see that Lynn Moore is no longer with us. She'll probably come back.
Hi, I'm Nancy, and I am a counselor, psychotherapist, and I work with people to help them gain clarity and aspire to their dreams. And I've been doing this for quite a while, and I enjoy my general field.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Nancy. So good to see you again. I've missed you.
Yes, good to see you.
All right. All right. So let's see. Everybody's gone. I know LaChelle, of course, she's our speaker. So she's going to go next and share who she is and go right into the topic that we have tonight, because networking is such an important topic. And we wanted to start in July with networking because it really is an important part of our business. And you know, Nancy, even if you're not in your own business, you still need to network. How do you network to meet people? And I know you want to be an entrepreneur at some point. So this will be great for you. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody coming on. So Nancy, this is great for you because I know we talked about it. And actually, Nancy's the one that said in one of our sessions, I'd like to have a topic on networking. So your wish is our command, Nancy. So we made it happen, and I found LaChelle. And LaChelle,
all right.
So, take it away.
I am LaChelle, America's Supermom. I got that title because my husband and I have 15 children. We have 13 of them that still live at home. And I have a background in marketing. That's what I got my degree in, but I've been a stay-home mom for most of my adult life. As you can see, with 15 children, our baby is 5 and she's going to be going to kindergarten this year. So I think the only empty nest I'm going to see is everybody in school at the same time. So I'm looking forward to that in just a few weeks. But a little bit about my history is I was an only child. My husband is the baby of 5, and we got married and when I still was going to college. And so we lived in a college town. We really didn't have any family that was close by. We just had this survival mode mentality as our family grew. Needless to say, fast forward, I went through several bouts of depression and anxiety with the pressures of being the one at home with him while my husband worked. A lot of his work history was in retail, as well as him being an officer in the military. He was in the reserves. And so I had to be hospitalized 3 times for stress and anxiety. However, I'm one of those hard-headed kids. It takes a lot for me to learn. So after the 3rd time, I really figured out what my triggers were and just have a life now where I feel comfortable in my own skin with who I am, and I'm able to be authentic and transparent. And so I'm now into coaching, and I focus really on mindset, transforming your mind and getting you out of limiting beliefs. And so that's a little bit about me. How I got connected with Tina was through Madeline, who's on the call. Madeline had a call like this that was set up, and so I met Tina, and then Tina joined me on my journey of collaborating with people through Facebook Lives. So she did a Facebook Live. I think you were like one of my first people that I did it with. And then Mick also did one for me too, with her business and talking about her book. So that's a little bit of background about me. I can't hear you.
Oh, I know.
You're absolutely
okay. I know, because I was on mute. Duh. Oh my God, I need to unmute myself.
Can I just say she's absolutely amazing? I just have to say that. I know everybody can gather that from what she said, but she's really an amazing lady. I just have to get that.
I can't wait to meet you guys in person.
I know.
I love the virtual thing, but yeah.
When are you coming? When are you coming to the area?
I don't know. We just have to plan something. You know
what I mean? Maybe like New York City or something. Because Madeline,
fun. Yeah.
We'll have to figure something out.
Yeah. I mean, I think Nancy and Kellyanne are the only 2 that really don't know LaChelle. But you're going to get to know her tonight. And so, yeah, I've been impressed with LaChelle, with her energy, the way when someone has 15 kids, I mean, I just have to say, you are showing up, you're there committed, you have all these interviews that are going on back to back, and managing your time. I mean, I just think about managing your time. And so when I hear someone else say to me, they don't have time, I'm just gonna laugh.
I know.
Because I'm gonna say, I know someone who has 15 kids.
Right.
I know.
And excuse my language, but she's got her shit together.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
That's so funny. It's funny that you say that, Tina, because I had somebody last week who has, and I'm not judging because everybody, everybody's different, right?
Right. I can't
But
judge.
just to show you the contrast, she has one child. She's a new mother.
Mhm.
She just has the one baby, and she feels like it would be totally overwhelming, to try and run like a side business. So it
Yeah.
just goes to show you, some people can do, you're amazing, you can do it, and other people just don't. Everybody's got a different whatever gift, I guess. And this is your gift.
And she's a new
Well,
mom. She's a new
I
mom. So
I think I've learned a lot about collaborating.
yeah.
Because I really had a spiral thinking I had to do everything. So it's like, I got to be the one cleaning, I have to be the one cooking. And now I just have this mindset that if you use a team, you're going to get a lot more accomplished. You know what I'm saying? And so it just takes a lot of the pressure off.
Right. And you've got grown kids too that can help you. So although, you have 15, but you have the older kids that I'm sure you can delegate to them.
Yeah. But you know how it is with kids. I don't care how old they are. They're still kids and you got to bribe them or come up with let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? Because I would, as my older kids, and I would have new kids and I would have the ones that were older and I'd be thinking, this is going to be great. I'm going to have a new baby. And they already know what it takes to have a newborn. So I'm looking for them to help. And they're like, I'm not doing that because they go through displacement. So it's like they're wondering where they fit in. So, I mean, my 26-year-old will be arguing with the 5-year-old. And I'm like, what in the world? But that's that dynamic about being a sibling that I don't understand. Yeah.
And you were an only child.
Yes.
So, wow. So yeah, you didn't have to share. You had everything. Everything was just you. So
yeah,
awesome.
So,
okay.
And what state do you live in?
I live in Georgia.
Georgia. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So we're gonna dive right into it. First thing, I want to just ask everybody a question. We're gonna take time to answer it because whenever I do a presentation, I want it to be engaging. Not where us just taking notes and not really getting anything out of it. But really being an opportunity for us to build and create a foundation as we discuss it. So the first thing I want to ask is, what does everybody enjoy about networking? So if it's one thing or, the outcome, whatever comes to mind, we'll just go around and share what we enjoy about networking.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
So I just love making new connections. I love meeting new people, finding out more about them, seeing how we could support and empower one another. I just love making new connections. And with networking, for me, it's mostly with the women.
Okay.
Yep.
And I can piggyback off that because for me, Kellen, like you, I love making the connections, but I love when I meet someone, I'm always thinking about, okay, from a spiritual perspective, because God is a big part of my life. I always think to myself, okay, why has God placed me here? Like I'm meant to connect this person with somebody else. Do you know? Like I'm kind of thinking about my role in the whole thing. So I love trying to figure out, okay, like tonight, now I've made 2 new friends, right? Kellen and Nancy, we've just met. So now I'm like, okay, this is cool because maybe there's somebody else in my world that can now benefit from what I'm learning about them. So it's always, for me, it's like connecting the dots, and I love connecting people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Great. I know go ahead, Nancy.
Oh, okay. I love meeting people, talking to them, learning about them. I'm kind of fascinated by the different things people do. Like it's fascinating that you have 15 children, and other things that people tell me about themselves and their lives and kind of work they do and how they think and feel. I just find it fascinating, and I love that communication, just talking to people. Yeah, that's what I like.
Awesome.
I want to piggyback kind of on what Michelina said. I kind of like connecting the dots. And so when I go to networking events, I find that I do a lot of connecting for other people. But in the end, that's good for us.
Absolutely.
You know, and I also like networking online. It's becoming one of my new favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Me too. It's when I go somewhere, and sometimes it can be overwhelming when you see all these people, but if you can target your networking too, that you know, set a goal before you go to a networking that you want to meet a couple people. So I will gravitate more to the people that I, you know, if I can create a rapport, you know, develop a rapport with them, you know, create a common ground. And there's some people that you just hit it off and you just seem to have the same vibe. And then there's some people that say, I'm not giving my card to that person.
Right.
I just don't like the person. So I mean, I create first impressions right away. Okay. And maybe I'm not judging, but the vibes are just not there.
Right.
To continue a conversation.
It's not a match.
There's no match.
Right.
And that's really okay. I mean, you know, I think because people do sort of operate at different levels of vibration, right? If you believe we're all energy and we're all kind of, so I think it's a natural thing, you know, like we're not a match for every person out there.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
You know?
Okay.
So I think everybody answered the question. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you guys did great. So that's the thing that we want to keep in the forefront. So I asked you that question because we want to keep the end in mind when we approach networking. So we're thinking about these connections and opportunities to communicate, to learn. This is the excitement that we have to nurture before we go to an event or even be on a webinar, something like this, or a Facebook Live. We want to begin with the end in mind. And so we want to create our own reality of what that is. So if you like what Mick was saying about the vibration, what kind of vibe we have, we want to be able to reflect that vibe when we are on stage, so to speak, or if it's our opportunity to say something or whatever the case is. We want to be able to create the atmosphere that we desire. So this is important to think about, because with a lot of networking events, the first thing we do is think, oh, I don't know what to say to people. I'm nervous and all this kind of stuff, you know. So if you begin with the end in mind, you figure out if what your end is, what you're trying to accomplish, how can you be strategic about doing it? So another background I want to give you before we go into the pillars is when you're networking, it's about creating a relationship. With a relationship, it takes time. You're not going to have a first date with somebody and then get married the next day. Okay. So we have to have these timelines in our mind ahead of time. If you listen to a lot of information about sales, you have to be in front of somebody at least 7 times before they even trust you with their email address sometimes. Okay. Let alone getting them as a client. So you want to be thinking about how can I be proactive about those 7 times? You know, what is that I can do that add value? Because 7 times could be returning someone's post, you know, like sharing somebody's post, commenting on their post, interacting with them live, being at a live event with them. You know, there's more things that you can do instead of just picking up the phone or getting with them face to face that still count as an interaction. Yeah. So you want to be strategic about that.
LaChelle,
so, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think what you said was brilliant. And Tina, you did this today, and I really appreciate it. I think one of the nicest things you can do for someone on social media is when you take their post and you share it. Like, that's something I really appreciate, because then that gives you now just that extra layer of visibility, right? And that's kind of something that we all want to advance whatever message we're trying to, you know, to share. So I just think that's such an easy, kind thing to do that really doesn't take up much time or effort at all. So I love that you said that. I just wanted to, and thank you, Tina, for doing that today.
Oh, you're welcome. Because one of the things that I really am intentional about is that instead of just liking something,
Mm-hmm.
actually make a comment to someone. So even in my own
Right.
Facebook group, I'll just like it instead of commenting back and saying thank you, awesome. Like make a comment, and
Right.
instead of just like it, because it's very easy to just click like and you're done,
Right.
and you think you've done the job, and you move on.
Right. Right.
Really haven't.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
Not
Okay. So
engagement.
I'm not
yes,
right. You're not engaging.
We want to engage with
absolutely.
each other.
Exactly.
Right.
You want to engage with each other. Yes.
Absolutely. And so that's one of the things that I was going to cover. But since we're here, we'll talk about it. So making comments is the easiest way to stand out amongst the crowd. A lot of times, if you go through people's posts, there's hardly ever anybody that comments.
I know.
Okay. That is prime real estate for whatever your hashtag is, whatever your word of the day is, or whatever energy that you want to plant, especially if they have a lot of likes and nobody's commenting, because everybody's looking at that post and you are the only one that's going to be featured as saying a comment.
Yeah. And you know what, really, something that I've seen, you'll ask a question and they'll just like it instead of answering the question.
Right.
Like, what's up with that? I was like, okay.
Absolutely.
That drives me crazy.
I know.
Yes.
I know. Oh, we have Lynn
Yes.
Moore back. Hey, hi, Lynn.
Hi
Hi,
guys,
Lynn.
sorry I lost the signal.
Oh, that's
No
okay.
worries.
That's okay. Hey, Lynn, do you want to introduce yourself real quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Lynn.
My name is Lynn Moore and I have had my own business for 13 years. My business is More Marketing, and I do digital marketing, but really I specialize in startups and helping people align their technology needs, their marketing technology needs with the level of startup or bootstrapping that they're in. And it doesn't matter if they've been in business for 30 years or 30 days. I can help everyone achieve more sales. I specialize in email marketing, specifically Constant Contact.
I love that. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. And Lynn is from Connecticut. We've been part of networking groups here in Connecticut, and so we've seen each other at different events. So thank you, Lynn. I so appreciate you.
Me too. Thanks for
Okay.
having me.
No problem. Okay, so let's continue.
All right. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and just dive into the 5 pillars. So the first one is to be you. This is key. Being authentic. You know, you want to be comfortable in your own skin wherever you are, because once you kind of get a grasp of who you are, what your platform is, you can carry that. Somebody, I hear a little feedback. Your thing is muted.
Yeah, I'm muted, but I know I'm
Okay.
muted, but okay, let me mute myself. So, okay.
Okay, so you want to be able to be your authentic self wherever you are. So you want to think about your business as being an extension of you. It's a part of your brand. And so that comes from being authentic. So if you are at a gala or at the library or the grocery store, you want to be able to be consistent at every place that you are in terms of who you are and your personality and what you bring to the table. So one of the things that kind of makes it overwhelming is if we believe we can compartmentalize our business from who we are as an individual. So the more that we're able to recognize that, you know, my job or my career or vocation is an extension of who I am. So that allows you to be authentic wherever you show up at. Okay. So that's kind of like getting out of our own way, not worrying about who we are, but focusing on our message, what it is that we are designed to do, what things we like to do to add value. And just to kind of piggyback off of what Mick said, and Madeline, is kind of figuring out what role we play when we encounter certain people. You know, it's like a puzzle that we're trying to put together. So how are we playing that role with that puzzle? So that's pretty much it for being you. Does anybody have any questions over that? No, I'm on the thing. Sorry about that. I have one of my kids who's asking me. They love waiting until I'm on a call because they feel they get yes. Okay, so the second one is to be memorable. This is unique conversation. Okay, so when you are meeting somebody at a networking event, you want to ask something that sparks something different. You know, not the same old, what do you do? You know, what's your elevator pitch? But asking them something that's relevant to what you're doing. So, for example, what inspired you today? You know, or if you have a word of the week like Tina, your word of the week is, I know the one from last week was productivity or something. So you can ask somebody, what are some ways that you incorporate being productive? You know, we're here as entrepreneurs, but what do you do to be productive? What routine do you have? You know, so it is really doing something that's going to push the needle forward, asking that question that's memorable. It makes them think outside of the box, and it intrigues them to where they want to hear more, or they feel like, man, you know, you stand out. There's something different about you than anybody else that they might have met just because of the conversation. So that's the second thing. You could ask them, how do you make sure that you have balance in your life? With I know my word of the week is sleep. So how do you ensure that you sleep, you know, the right amount every day? What are some routines you do? So just things like that to kind of bring them into your world, but give them the opportunity to hear their feedback and understand how you can learn and grow from one another. Does anybody have any questions?
I love that, LaChelle, because it's something that I don't do. I'll be totally honest with you. I will ask them, so tell me about yourself. What do you do? You know, and something different outside the box I haven't done. So
okay,
I will
awesome.
think of something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I love this because we go through getting content for our groups and, you know, on our social media, but then we never use the content. You know what I mean? We put it on there, but then we don't talk about it. We wait for people to like it and engage in it. If they don't, next week we're coming up with something different and we haven't even finished what we started. So we have to think about how are we going to use this, you know? Does anybody else have anything they want to add on that?
I love that because, you know, I'll ask people. I usually, you know me, I love shoes, guys. I love shoes. So if someone's got like a hot pair of shoes on, I'm like, oh, where'd you get your shoes? And I'll start like that. Or I'll start giving someone a compliment so that we get out of that atmosphere. But I love that. That's brilliant advice. So thank you for reminding.
You're welcome. And this is stuff that we already have. And so when they look at our page or go to our website, it's stuff we've already been doing. So it's like, wow, you know, it's just like, I really can get with them. You know, that resonates with me because you're already doing it. It's not anything you're creating on site and everything, and you're comfortable doing it because it's what you've already been doing. So that's the second one. The third one is focusing on 3 people. Now, this is what I do, 3 people. But to me, it's not about the number. It's about being intentional. You know, so when you meet these people, it's about creating a profile for them, finding out, do they have kids? You know, what is it that they might be having a problem with in their business? How did they get to this networking event? Do they know somebody that invited them? You know, what are some of their goals? What are they working towards? Do they work by me? Do they live by me? You know, so just being intentional about creating a complete profile for 3 people that you encounter. That way you're not overwhelmed and you're on a mission and you're thinking about the end in mind when you meet people. Because how many times, I know for me, I mean, and I just keep these here for, you know, something to go to when I'm doing my Facebook Lives. But I'm always getting stacks of cards. I don't know who some of these people are. Now I try to, you know what I mean? I try to write notes on them and stuff, but it's like, I'm not thinking about picking up another card. The people that I resonate with are the people that I put in my phone or take a picture. You know, I learned this about a couple weeks ago when I did a Facebook Live. The woman told me to take a picture with the person that you're meeting and then adding them in your phone so that you do the same for you and for them. When you call them, it won't come up with some random name, and they'll answer your call. Because how many times do you have people call you? Sometimes you're like, I don't know this number. You don't answer and you miss an opportunity. But if you put their picture with their contact information, it's like, oh, okay, I know this person. You answer and it's no big deal. All right. So, okay, so Mick has to leave. Okay. And someone says something about the virtual business card. I've heard of that. Yeah. And I've had a few people give that to me. So that is a great plug for being able to do that with the virtual business card.
Yes.
So does anybody have? Yeah.
Kellyanne, I know you had one.
Yes, I actually do use it. It's I started out with the V card a couple of years ago, which I didn't like too much. It was, I mean, it's a good one. It's one of the originals. And then now I use Elify, Elify.
Okay.
I love it. It's literally it's like a picture of your, it's almost like a little mini website, but it's in the shape of a business card. But you have the opportunity to put a couple of links on there, a video, so they can just immediately click on it on their phones, because everyone has their phone on them all the time. But it gives you an opportunity to share it as well with others, you know, so they can share it. If they want to connect you with someone else, they can immediately share that with someone else. I do like it. So if I don't happen to have business cards on me, it's a great tool to use for sure.
Would you spell that again, love?
Sure, it's Elify.
D, okay.
No, E. E is an A.
E, thank you.
Okay.
But I do have a question, LaChelle. So I have like a lot of business cards so that I collect, that I don't want to keep collecting. What would you recommend to get to the point where I'm not just collecting tons of business cards? Because I do definitely like your pillar about focusing just on 3 people, because I do get overwhelmed when I'm at a networking event and I talk to more than one, or I get several business cards, and to email every single one of them, it can be a little overwhelming sometimes if I'm too busy and then I forget. So
yes. And to me, it's like when I see this stack, it really makes me feel like I'm not finishing something. So it's kind of like a burden, you know, instead of really being like, wow, I have all these leads. I have it like, man, you know, I don't know who these people are. It's kind of like a cold call at that point, because I haven't, you know, followed up with them or whatever the case is. So it's really more of a stressor. What I do is I just recycle mine. So like I have this little bank thing here. And when I do my Facebook Lives, I put little cards in here. So like if something really speaks to me, someone says a quote, or I have some experience that day, I'll write it on the back of a card, put it in here. And when I'm doing my Facebook Lives and waiting for guests and stuff, I'll just say, okay, I'm going to do a shout out or share something with you guys, and whatever I pick out of there, I discuss. So I just kind of recycle mine. I also do like gift bags. So they're like, I just put like 3 pieces of candy, and I don't have any pictures of one right now, but I do have Pinterest, so I'll send you guys a picture. But just like, you know, the little clear bags that you use from the dollar store, little goodie bags. I put like 3 pieces of candy in it, and I usually put the benefits of a coach, and I use the acronym for coach. So C is clarity, O is organization, A is accountability, C is confidence, and H is honesty. And then I'll put my name and email and phone number on there. And then I'll hole punch it and use that as the tag that I tie the little gift bag up. And I make so many of those up and give them out when I go to networking events and stuff like that. So I just would recycle them. So if you have 2 of them that, you know, they just have a clear back, you staple them face side together and then just write on it and recycle them.
Wow. I mean, LaChelle, I've never heard of such a thing. Can you share with me again the acronym COACH? What was the O?
The O was organization.
Oh yeah. Okay. And then so clarity, organization, accountability, and what was the other C?
Confidence.
Confidence. Okay. And honesty. Okay.
Mhm.
I love the recycling. It's a lot of work for me, but
you know, I'm always thinking, how can I make this work? You know, trying to reuse stuff. So that's what I do.
it's no, but it's really creative.
But do you actually, LaChelle, do you save their numbers and their contact information though before you recycle the cards?
Yes.
Like I'm trying to figure out if, you know, what I should do, because I mean, to add all of these into my database, it's a lot, you know what I mean? So.
Right. Well, you know, what I would suggest you do is get a pretty basket, something that is nice for you. Get a basket, dump them all in there and set a timer and go through them like, you know, 5 minutes whenever you have time, set the timer. So it's not real tedious. Keep them in the basket, go back to them whenever you have time. Okay. You know, so until you get them all, you go through them all. Because, you know, there could be some nuggets in there. And that's for me. It's hard to throw things away. As you can see, I'm trying to figure out different uses for it. But I'm like, man, there might be somebody that I could remember. But, you know, I'm just not motivated. So if you put them in a basket, go through them a little bit at a time. And then that way you don't have that urge of feeling like you're missing out on something. But if you do feel like, hey, you know, I don't know them, it's been a while, you know, go ahead and dump them and start from scratch, you know. So it's up to you on what you feel comfortable with.
I don't understand what when you talked about the gift bags, what you're recycling.
Oh, I'm using the back of business cards and writing messages on the back of them. So,
of your business cards?
Of old cards that people have given me.
Oh.
Yeah. So we were talking about how you have a stack of cards. You usually don't follow up with the people.
Yeah.
So I'll take the back of, a lot of mine are 2-sided that I have. But if I have some that are not 2-sided, I will take the front of one and staple them together and then write on both sides of the card where it's blank and with a new message. You're muted.
With your name on it.
With my name and
with your name. You're not showing their names.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Exactly. I get it. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. And then you put in your acronym COACH.
Right.
I like that. So yeah. So you're using their card with your information.
Right.
Stapled. Okay.
Right.
With your acronym. I like that piece.
Because people are going to throw it. And they're going to throw it away, guys. I mean, let's be real. I mean, people eat the mint, the card, you know. So, you know, no worries about that.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions about focusing on 3 people? All right. So the next thing is follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. I can't impress this enough. Follow up. The reason why I say 3 people is good because you want to be able to follow up almost immediately. Everybody says 24 to 48 hours, but if you could do it the same day, the same hour after you leave, the quicker you follow up, the more memorable you're going to be. So what I usually do is I get those 3 cards that I have when I'm in the car before I even leave the event. I'm in my car, getting it all worked out, setting my GPS or whatever. I immediately remember what are the 3 things. So, you know, when you're being intentional, what do I remember about these people? Okay. And then I will call them. I will do a voice message or even a video message. It depends on what kind of mood you're in, what the connection was like. Okay. So you do that immediately after you leave the event. So before you drive off, you're going to say, hey, Tina, I really enjoyed meeting you. I love your haircut. I love what you said about whatever, I look forward to us getting together and having lunch or, whatever, you know. Um, I loved Nancy, how you talked to me about learning and different things that I could do. What podcast do you listen to? I just wanted to follow up with you so I can hear, what's the name of that podcast? If you could call me back and let me know. So you get with those three people, leave that message. A voice message is good. Video is even greater, so we want to be able to evolve with whatever platform is out there. So that's non-threatening. You're doing a video on whatever works for you. I had this lady, I met her on LinkedIn. And so she was talking about how she was going for this job, and she wasn't sure. She had the credentials, but she wasn't sure who else was going for this position. And I told her, I said, well, look, send them a video. Do you have their email address, whatever, you know what they're looking for. And she was like, wow, I didn't even think about that. And so, I'm going to an event this week. I'm going out of town today. And she's like, oh, I want to meet you and let's get together for lunch while you're in town. So you just never know. You have to kind of think out of the box. Whenever you're competing for people's attention, you have to stand out and do something different. So if you're not a video person, just do video when you follow up. Come up with a system that works for you, that feels comfortable. And, a lot of people video because they feel like they don't have anything to say. But if you're like, hey, Karen, I love what you said at the event. We met at the networking event. Call me. I got some great insight over whatever. Okay. So that's the key thing with the follow-up. Does anybody have any questions over that? Okay. And then the last thing is leveraging your platform. Okay. And that's for you to move forward with whatever it is that you want to move forward with. So we're thinking about how this person can be a client. So we have to stay top of mind. So you want to be able to always engage and keep that communication going. So we talked about this a little bit in the beginning. So for example, when someone has a post, if this post resonates with you, you could share it. You could even comment. Okay. If you have material of your own, okay, number 5 is what we're on now, which is leveraging your platform to stay top of mind. That's number 5. So you want to be able to come up with creative ways that you can be top of mind. This is an opportunity for you to interject your own material. So for example, let's say someone is asking, how do you overcome fear? Yeah, because we were doing that on our group today. Tina had given us the acronym about it. Well, go through your content. See, this is another thing. We already have a lot of this stuff. If you've been in business for a while or your brand is not brand new, you have so much material, you just forget about it because you're constantly trying to create other things. But go back in your content and think about, what do I have about fear? Did I do a talk on it? Do I have a blog on it, an article? What was it that helped me get over my fear? Maybe it was a book or whatever, but just some kind of valuable content that you can share that will make them think and remember you on a deeper level. So we can all say, yeah, everybody's afraid, we just don't take that step. But you want to always take the stance of how am I going to come to them solution oriented? If I could give them a book, if I can give them some insight, because you want them to come to you as if, man, if I don't know who I can talk to, I definitely can talk to them because they're a problem solver. They have solutions. They know a lot of people. And so that is going to keep you top of mind so that, whenever you have a program, then it's going to be like, wow, I need to sign up for that, because she's been giving me this content and, it really resonates. Another thing, like what we were talking before, is making sure you answer those comments. You know, you put yourself out there. You know, you're taking a chance, but this is the opportunity for you to have a microphone. That's what I always say. Every opportunity is a microphone opportunity. If they share that post, I don't care if it's one person, that might be 7 people that never even knew about Tina, but because she made a comment, how many times do you sometimes go through threads? I know I do for LinkedIn. Somebody will say something and I'll go through and look through their profile. Well, who is that? What did they say? That I really like that message. And then I'm digging deeper to find out. So if there's nobody else commenting, you're going to be the only one they're going to do that with. And then if you have engaging content, then they're looking at your videos. They're looking at what stuff you post. They're looking at who you know. And before you know it, they are intertwining themselves with you. And, you know, the opportunity to create that atmosphere for making that sale is that much easier. Does anybody have any questions over that?
I just love what you said, LaChelle, about the leveraging your platform, because you're right. You make a comment on somebody else's post and they're going to look you up and see about you, and your network grows, and people, you become more visible.
Right.
You do.
Yeah. And, you know, for me, it is, people are like, man, you're always on Facebook or whatever. And I'm not always on Facebook. It seems like that, because what I do is, like, if I have a guest that's on Facebook, and I just try to limit it to the guests that I have this week. So if I interview like 7 people, then I have 7 people that I have to kind of stalk for the week, because I have to look at their posts, see what they're about, you know, go back and show them my appreciation, you know, see who they know, comment on their posts, and, you know, give them value, so to speak. And so what happens is, then they'll come back and they'll engage on something that I'm doing because I just did that, you know. So you want to figure out how can you create and plant the seeds that begins a relationship. And so you do that by engaging. So it's like, I'm not really engaging on a lot of people's stuff. I'm just engaging in the things that I've chosen to show up for. So I'm in some groups, and that's one of the things I'm learning. It's like, you know, what groups are giving me value? Well, those are the ones that I'm going to show up for. Everybody else, you know, that's one of the things people do. They'll invite you to a group, and it's like, you don't know anybody in the group. You know, you'll make a post and nobody shares it or nobody engages in it. It's like, well, why am I in the group? You know, why is that one more post that I have to make? Just leave that group alone, you know, until it comes back around. So for me, I just engage in the ones that create value for me, that I learn from. They give me support. I support them, because you can be in any group, but is it really going to move you forward? You know, or is it just another thing that you're going to put on your time management thing? Okay, I want to check off, you know, doing 7 posts. I'm going to do this group, but nobody's giving you value back. Does that make sense?
Absolutely makes sense. Anybody have any questions?
No, but I totally agree, because I chose a couple groups that, you know, I didn't know very many people in there, and now I've met a lot of people because I went in and I would post, and then also I had a big thing that I wanted to do, and I called the owner of the group and asked her, is it okay? And she said, absolutely, because you always post in our groups and we like your posts. So it does make a big difference.
Yes, it does.
I think that's a great point, LaChelle.
Good point. So it's almost 10 of 8. I want to respect everyone's time and have it till 8. But these were great. I put the 5 pillars in the chat for everybody too, if they missed them. Anybody else have any questions? Nancy, Kellyanne, Lynn?
Yes, I had a question.
Go ahead, Lynn.
LaChelle, I was wondering, When you say share a video, do you have a particular way? Is it just a link in an email, or do you have any other suggestions on that?
Okay, so for me, like I'll give them a video message. So I'll just say, hey, it's LaChelle, America's Supermom. I just had a great time meeting you at this event. You know, please feel free to reach out to me. I enjoyed what you said about your job and how you help new businesses. And if I can serve you in any way, please just give me a call and let's have lunch sometime. And then it's like, see you later. Bye. And then
But I'm wondering, how do you deliver it? Where do you store the video and all that? Do you have a YouTube channel? Is it private?
Oh yeah, what I do was, this is like a video message. So you know how you can just do a quick video on your phone and I'll just send it as a text message.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, I don't store it or anything. So yeah, you know, instead of doing like a regular text, I'll just do a video text or I'll do an audio one. Yeah.
Oh, smart.
But that's a great question. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's genius. And I think you've given us a lot to work with here. I was wondering, what can you get in an hour? But I got 5 things I got to work on. Thank you very much.
I know,
That's
me too.
good.
So great nuggets. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I just love when I have speakers and they're talking about topics that add so much value and collaboration. So I'll be looking for more speakers in my Confident Lady Boss series. Because I love it. I've had Madeline on, I've had other people on, and now LaChelle, and I think it's great because everybody adds value, and I believe it creates more engagement too. It's not just listening to the same person every week. You know, it's getting different speakers. You know, Madeline has created a great platform where she has speakers in her Badass Courage, and every month she's got different topics, and this month it's confidence. So she's got speakers, but she's creating a whole different platform. So this is great. Yes, I like that, Kelly. Yeah, we could bring Doreen. Doreen is great. Doreen is a productivity, she's a business coach type of person, and she's here in Connecticut. So Kelly, and I'm definitely going to reach out to you because next week we're going to talk about burnout, how to overcome burnout in life and business. The following Tuesday, we're going to do Achieve Balance in Life and Business, and that'll be in for July. So we've got the 23rd and the 30th. And then in August, I'm thinking of the theme of get back to work, get back to business, get back to life. So kind of focusing on, so I think maybe in August, Kelly and maybe Doreen would fit well with how do you get productive after the summer months are coming to an end and step up the summer. I mean, step up the fall. And
I love that.
So I'll make a note.
Yeah.
So what is the next one again?
So next Tuesday, the 23rd at 7 o'clock. It's going to be on burnout, how to overcome burnout in life and business. It's actually the same, for those of you who've been on tonight, it's the same Zoom link every week. 994-714-0851. So for all of you, you don't need to go and register and go through that process. I already have your emails. I already have your information in the system. Don't need to go through that process again.
Okay.
So it's the same link. So Nancy, you got that? It's the same link that I sent you tonight.
I wrote it down.
Awesome. I love it. I love it because I don't want you to miss anything.
Yeah, me neither. I just want to say how much I appreciate these Tuesday evening Lady Boss things. It really helps to keep me focused. You know, I can lose focus, you know, I'm working or trying to take a little weekend away to feel better, whatever. But this really helps me come back together, get centered, get focused. So I just want to thank you. I think this is great. And I really loved LaChelle tonight. Thank you so much. And,
you are welcome.
Yeah.
That could be another theme. Get centered, get focused.
I know, right? Get centered, get focused. And LaChelle, would you like to put in the chat how we can connect with you?
Yes.
Get centered.
Absolutely.
Get focused. I like that. Get centered, get focused.
I feel like just coming to these Lady Boss series is helping me with that. Just that my Tuesday night appointment here, you know, that alone is helping me, you know, making that commitment. So.
Right, making that commitment. And
Yeah.
Lynn, thank you for joining us. I know I couldn't see you tonight, but I really like the fact that you were able to attend tonight, because I know you've tried, and I know that you read my emails and you've commented on my emails, and so I really appreciate all of you for being part of my community here in Confident Lady Boss. LaChelle, do you have an email that people can connect with you, or do you want people to call you?
Yeah. You guys can call me. That's one of those things. You know, I need to have something quick, because I'm like writing all this stuff, you know. My kids, they can text in a minute, you know. I mean, it's like I'm looking up and they're like, okay, they've texted a whole paragraph and I'm still saying, you know, 2 or 3 letters.
Right, I know what you mean. I know. They're like texting like this. They're like using. I'm like, what the heck? How are you doing this? Yeah. I mean, and I'm
like, I know. I'm like, I said typing. What is the deal? Why is it that everything is info@LaChelleAdkins.com?
Good. And I will post the replay in the group tomorrow. So for those people there were others that had expressed that they were going to be attending or were interested. So I will post the replay in there. Like I know Lena left early, so I will post it in there so that she can see it as well. Okay.
And they can get a hold of me. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All of it's in my name. Yeah.
Okay.
So just LaChelle Adkins. But
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Everything's in my name.
I'm pretty easy to do. Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All righty.
Thank you, LaChelle and Tina and everyone.
You're welcome.
Nice meeting you, ladies.
Yes, nice meeting you.
guys.
Nice meeting you all.
Yeah, bye. I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great week. Bye.
You too.
You guys
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.